Hey, hi, welcome back everyone. So today we're going to see sampling methodology. So we basically will see here what exactly is sampling methodology. So whenever an auditor starts auditing a system, he or she cannot take every population or every person or every piece of a population. It's not possible. So a sampling has to be done, but then it has to be very much scientific in its approach. So we are going to see through that of how a sampling methodology should be planned during the course of the audit. So as I said, purpose of the sampling. So reason is compliance testing. Either I am testing the compliance, so I have a control which is already there in place. So I am seeing whether the system is running as per the control. So I am actually doing a test of controls, or I am doing a substantive testing. So I am actually detecting material weaknesses at the assertion level. So I am possibly going through each and every data which is being thrown out, and I'm going to pick up a population from there. I'm going to pick up a sample from there. So one, I have a control. I see whether the control is working proper or not, which is compliance testing. Substantive, it is substantive in nature, as in it's going to check for the samples at the assertion level, so as to check whether there is some weakness at the assertion level. So if I am confident that the compliance is proper, so I am actually confident that the controls as they are defined are running properly in an organization, I may go for a lower set of substantive testing, and the reverse is also true. So sampling. So what are the various methods of sampling? So it could be a statistical method, it could be non-statistical, and the various terms which are associated with sampling. So we have attribute sampling. When we talk about attribute sampling, we are actually looking for a specific attribute. So attribute can be anything, it could be the occurrence of a particular number, it could be the occurrence of a particular date. So how many times is what I am looking for, occurrence of a specific attribute. Stop or go sampling, this is a sort of an attribute sampling, but then it takes into account that, okay, too much sampling doesn't happen. It prevents excessive sampling. Discovery sampling, I am actually looking out for a discovery of something. So I am seeking or discovering something. Variable sampling, I am looking for a monetary value of a population from a sample population. Stratified mean per unit, I basically break up the population and then I draw out samples from them. So the population could be broken up. So I might have a population of 1 to 100, and I may break it up into pieces of 20 or pieces of 30, depending upon certain characteristics. Unstratified mean per unit, it is the sample calculated mean which I get. Difference estimation, it is the total difference between audited and the book value. Confidence quotient is the level of reliability. So obviously, if I am picking up more samples, then my level of reliability is more. And level of risk is 1 minus the confidence coefficient. So out of 100, if I have actually picked up 95 as samples when the population size is 100, that means my confidence quotient is 95%, because I'm sure that I might make an error on the remaining 5. Otherwise, it is going to be the same. I mean, it is going to have the same characteristics of the entire population. So level of risk I'm going with is 1 minus the confidence coefficient. Precision, so it is the range between the sample and the actual population. Expected error rate, this is the percentage of errors that might exist. So when I take a sample, I am trying to substitute most of the characteristics, if not, actually it should be all of the characteristics, but possibly it may not be possible. So I will try to get most of the characteristics. So what left out is the errors. So percentage of errors that might exist. Sample mean, it is the sum of all sample values. Sample standard deviation computes the variance of sample values from the mean. Tolerable error limit, so actually it is, the errors being present without material misstatement. So fine, so there has been no material misstatement, So as an auditor, when I have actually picked up the samples without any material misstatement, in spite of that, the errors which are present is the tolerable error rate. Population standard deviation, it is the relationship to normal distribution. So what could be the sampling risk? We spoke about some of them when we went through it, but what could be the sample risk, and what is it and how is it going to impact? So if the auditor has taken out from the entire population a certain piece of the sample, and in every case the auditor's conclusion is based on the sample that he or she has picked up. Now if a situation such arises that if some other samples were to be picked up from that entire population list, then a result would have been different. That would be the sampling risk. So risk of incorrect acceptance and risk of incorrect rejection. So incorrect acceptance comes when the population is materially misstated, which the auditor may not be aware of. So auditor will think that material weakness is assessed as unlikely. There is no material weakness in it because the auditor is not aware that the population itself has been materially misstated. We would have a risk of incorrect acceptance because as an auditor, it is getting incorrectly accepted. And risk of incorrect rejection. Population is not materially misstated. Population is absolutely correct. But the material weakness is assessed that there is a material weakness, such that it is assessed that there is a material weakness, when in fact the population is not materially misstated. So it is a risk of incorrect rejection. So in such a case, the auditor might be rejecting it. So that would be the issue. So with this, we come to the end for today's presentation. Catch me again tomorrow as we go ahead further with our presentation. Thank you.